get this strategy out. Want everybody to be able to see exactly how we do this, exactly this awesome strategy that, as I said, it's one of the best strategies I've seen. And so really excited about that and getting that going. So everybody can be ready to go. Okay. So, I'm still looking for one more little thing here. Give me just a second. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started. So, today we're going to talk about my biggest breakthrough ever. It's discovering the break line baseline strategy. It could have turned a small $1,000 stake into a shocking $280,564.51 in less than 6 months on real-time official alerts published by me. Okay, so these are actual real-time alerts that we've actually published. And so let's go ahead and get started. So mandatory disclosure, trading is risky in some respects. Don't risk any money that you cannot afford to lose. You want to go in with a very good state of mind where you're focused and you're disciplined and you're working at solving a problem. Now, today I'm going to be sharing trades and trade opportunities, but you have to always use it in the context. And I'm laying that context down right now. And that context is that when you're trading in the market, there's always an opportunity for loss. And it doesn't matter how good your system is, you do not know with 100% certainty whether there will be a win or loss, and past performance does not guarantee future results. So you need to know that, and you have to go in with a plan and discipline, right? Just wanting to make sure that everybody knows that there is no crystal ball or magic system that wins 100% of the time. So everybody understand that? Everybody clear and focused? Let me know in the chat, because I want to make sure that's really clear. A lot of times people come out to these trainings and they think that they're in a lot of trouble. They need some money. They're up to their eyeballs in debt. Maybe you're 65 years old and you're working and you want to retire and you feel like this is your last hope to retire. And you really need this system to work so that you can quit your job, and this system will be your savior. Now, it's very possible that that could happen, and it's happened to others and it could happen to you, but you've got to understand you still have to do the work. Okay, we got a lot of people understanding, and good. Okay, and the reason why I say that specific retirement example, I know there's a lot of people in that situation and I want to help people. That's why we do what we do. We want to help people, but we want to make it clear that, this is not, there's still, it's not a get you out and save you from your problems. There are things that you will need to do. Okay, now that everyone understands that, good. Thank you. Okay, so my name is Casey Stubbs, and today's presentation is very simple, extremely simple. I believe in keeping things simple. I'm going to show you the most powerful way that I've ever discovered to trade the stock market. And before we get started, I have a question for you. Okay. And again, I want this to be very action oriented, meaning I want you to answer the questions that I ask. I'm not just talking to hear myself talk. I want this to be a two-way conversation, as if you and I are sitting down having a coffee and I'm asking you some questions about your trading scenario and your life, on how I can help you. Because the more feedback I get, the more I can actually tailor these programs to help real people. So what would you do if you had made $280,564.51 in profit over the last 4 months, what would that do for your life? How would that impact you? Would it make any significant changes, right? What would you do? Okay. Now, I know that this is a huge number. And of course, I'm getting some good answers. So thank you. I appreciate that. But I continue to answer as I'm typing. Now, I know that this is a huge number. And of course, I'm not here to guarantee any future results, as I said earlier. But just stick with me here for a minute because I want to show you something incredible. Okay. And I want you to let me know honestly, what would you do with an extra $280,564.51 in trading profits? Tell me in the chat. And I'm getting a lot of answers. I mean, they're flying through here. I'm getting would relocate, buying a house, paying off debts, spending time with grandkids. These are all things that I'm seeing. Start a business, quitting my job, lots of good stuff. So I appreciate it. Keep posting. Okay. Now, maybe you would go on a vacation of a lifetime and tip everyone you saw generously. I actually was reading an article today that said, the only bad vacation is on the one that you don't go on, just on how refreshing and life-giving these vacations can actually be. Maybe you would help out family and friends or give a big chunk to your church or favorite charity. Maybe you'd keep it all inside your trading account and go for even more profits, right? The fact is, most people never have to think about what they would do with that kind of extra money because they've never had the chance to achieve it. But today, I want to give you that chance. Sound good? Would you like to have that chance? Now, again, let me be clear. I'm not guaranteeing you will see the exact results I've seen, and no strategy can see the future. But since I developed a 5-step method called Baseline and started publishing real-time official recommendations just 4 months ago, had you started with just $1,000 into each trade and raised your position size slowly and carefully is the key words here, after 4 months, quick months, I mean, the older I get, the faster the months go by. When I was a kid, it seemed like time was moving a little slower, but now that I'm getting a bit older, 4 months is like, boom, where's it gone? Maybe you can relate. But after 4 quick months and a 92% win rate and an average win of 63.6% per trade, that small account could have exploded to $280,564.51 in profit. And this isn't just some back-tested theory or best-case scenario either. These are real, published, verifiable alerts from just one powerful strategy. And just take a look at this Dollar General trade that I issued back in November when I started doing the baseline trades. The sentiment around Dollar General, the ticker on that is DG, was not good. Dollar General stock downgraded on a low-income shopper, acting recessionary. Dollar General sinks as its fizzling sales spur new forecast cut, right? And this is, again, one of the reasons why you don't always want to follow the news because it can lead you the wrong way. My baseline strategy helps you with that. But all of the news and everything was telling you, stay away from this thing, okay? And as bad as the sentiment was, the chart was even worse. It was down 55% in just 6 months. Not a good-looking chart. Most people wouldn't have touched Dollar General with a 10-foot pole, and usually I wouldn't either. Except on November 17th, DG met the criteria for an official baseline trade. And so even though it didn't look pretty, I followed the system and published a buy on DG that day. And sure enough, the baseline paid off as DG rocketed over the next few weeks. I mean, look at that. It just went boom, right? Really good. Okay. Now, which This resulted in a 96% gain, which was just phenomenal. What a way to kick things off. And if you put $1,000 into it, when I sent the signal, it could have turned into $1,960 in just a few weeks. And 5,000 would have flipped into 9,800. And if that seems like an exception, let's take a look at the very next week. I issued an official recommendation on BITO, a Bitcoin-based ETF. And guess what? Pretty much the same story with a ton of negative news around Bitcoin. I mean, it's amazing how these headlines just mislead people over and over again. It's just crazy, which is kind of typical for news. But look, all of these news announcements were just crushing, absolutely crushing crypto at the time, especially Bitcoin. So for most people, that kind of news is enough to scare them away. But most people don't know about the baseline strategy. And an official buy trigger flashed on this insignificant looking day on November 24th, right there. It looks like nothing, right? But you can see that little pin bar pushing up. That was giving me some clues. And check out what happened next. BITO exploded for a 40.5% gain, right? Just see how that is gapped up, really. And we do find that quite a bit. And that one could have generated an extra $405 in profit for anyone who followed along with a small $1,000 account. Now, $405 out of thin air isn't life-changing money. I think we can all agree. And it's a great little bonus to help with a car payment or groceries for the week. But the very next week, we had 3 more baseline signals: RBLX, COIN, and Dash, Roblox, Coinbase, and DoorDash, right? And they all came out on the exact same day, right? All 3 on December 1st, 2023. So with about 5 minutes of work, you could have jumped in on all 3 of these trades, producing 90%, 600 or 64.55%, 78.67%, all in just a matter of days. That's an extra $2,332 in extra cash with just $1,000 in each position. And across the 5 trades I just showed you, you'd be looking at $3,697.25 in pure profit using just 1K in capital. Now, I don't know about you, but $3,697 would start to make an impact for me. That's a few months of the mortgage payment for most people, or a family vacation if you've been meaning to take for years and never gotten around to. Or if you're like me, that's $3,697 to keep in your account, because the next 369.7 would generate $13,667 in profit. And so again, this is the superpower, and that is consistency, right? Taking a few trades here and there isn't going to change your world, but being consistent is. And that's one of the big benefits of this system, is I help people be consistent. But again, we're just getting started. By the end of this presentation, I will show you how those small 1K investments back in November could have stacked up to an incredible $280,564.51 in profit in just 4 months. And more importantly, you will learn 5 specific rules behind the baseline system that made it possible. Before we dive headfirst into baseline, let me give you a quick background for all of you who don't know who I am. As I said, my name is Casey Stubbs, and I became obsessed with the stock market while serving overseas in the United States Army. And for the last 20 years, I've remained passionate about investing. And so in that time, I've shared my trading journey with hundreds of thousands of traders, traded just about every market that there is, developed hundreds of strategies, systems, and indicators, built a business that has sold over $10 million worth of trading resources, generated big profits for myself, and lost huge profits too, written several books, interviewed hundreds of top tier investors with cumulative net worths in the billions through my podcast. And let me tell you the honest truth about my career as an investor. I've never had a problem finding phenomenal opportunities in the markets. They're always there. Every day is a new opportunity. In fact, I've always had a knack for finding big home run trades and growing accounts really, really fast. But where I got into trouble was that life always got in the way. It's that consistency thing. You've got to be able to do something day in and day out, day in and day out. Just be consistent with doing the right thing. The little steps make a difference. In other words, I didn't have an issue finding opportunities. I had an issue consistently managing those opportunities. You see, I'm the father of 9 children. And as much as I love trading, I love my family a lot more. And there's no substitute for investing time in your family. Absolute, because that's, if you're consistent on investing time with your family, you're going to generate rewards. Just like being consistent in generating the market, you're going to generate rewards. Different kind of rewards, but you generate the rewards. So, not to mention, I'm active in my church, I run a business, and I have a podcast that requires time too. And that doesn't even include the other things I want to invest my time in, like mission trips, camping, or writing books. And all of this represents time away from my computer, not managing my investments. And this is the problem I've faced for nearly 2 decades. And maybe some of you can relate. So thankfully, I have an unfair advantage. And this is a big one. And most people couldn't even dream of having access to my How to Trade It podcast. It's one of my huge advantages. If you look at some of the guests here, you might have recognized him. Jack Schwager is the writer of Market Wizards book. He's interviewed billionaire traders, and he's a successful trader himself. I interviewed Tom Sosnoff. He has launched Tastyworks. He's a billionaire and just a successful options trader. And then I interviewed Tom Canfield, which was really interesting because he lost $550,000 in one day trading, and he shared the story on my podcast. I mean, wow, I learned so much from that crazy experience that he was open and honest about sharing. It was so cool. And so I've learned a lot from these guys. And through my podcast, I've entered 238 of the best traders and investors that I could find. Now, here's what you have to realize. I was able to get access to a pool of investors literally worth billions of dollars, some of them billions on their own. I have had a couple billionaires, and I know that almost all of them had very busy lives beyond the markets, which allowed me to leverage this platform and grill them for information that I could use in my own trading. So, over the course of 200 plus hours of detailed conversations with top traders and countless more testing ideas and often losing money along the way, I established 5 elements of the perfect trade. 5. And I call it the baseline, and you're going to learn each element here today. So, amazingly, as soon as I started using the complete baseline formula, I began seeing massive results. 107% gain for $2,100 in profit on Robinhood. You can just see that chart. It is absolutely amazing. A 175% gain for $1,720 in profit on AMD. And again, these are not back tested. These are all actual trades that have been made. A 56% gain for $605 in profit on JPM, which is JP Morgan. And the best part, the baseline is the least time consuming, easiest to manage strategy that I have ever used. In fact, that's actually built into the baseline formula. Now, I am going to reveal the entire baseline formula here in 1 minute. And I will give you all 5 steps for free just for joining me on the webinar today. But before I can explain how this formula works, I need you to understand a simple truth about trading. And that is that most amateurs get crushed trading the short time frames. So again, I'm going to be teaching the strategy, but I want to put this warning in here to try to help you avoid what these market makers are trying to get you to take action in. They want you to be crushed, right? And again, it's not their fault. Short time frames, they're not meant to make any sense. It's not your fault if you've experienced this. You see, hedge funds and institutions push the market all around during the day to fill orders and bully the dumb money out of their positions. That's why you see so much noise during the day. You see, these short-term moves obviously don't represent the true direction of a stock, yet people fall for the traps and they fall for them day in and day out nonstop. But you have to realize when hedge funds and institutions bounce the price around, that means nothing for the stock, right? But people are so focused in, they don't realize the big picture. They don't mind moving a stock down $2 to get a price on a long position. They're just saying, oh, we're going to make more money. We're going to take advantage of the dumb money. And now for most people, that $2 drop seems like a huge move and it knocks them out of their positions. In other words, moving the stock down for a few hours doesn't require any conviction. So short-term traders are trying to make sense of stock moves that don't mean anything. You can see why you're set up to fail. I call these smaller time frames low conviction time frames because Wall Street literally doesn't care what happens on them. What they do care about is how their billions in holdings perform over weeks and months. So when you zoom out to a chart like the weekly, you're seeing on a high conviction, I call these high conviction time frames just so that I know not to get shaken out. You're going to see some amazing things happen. So that's why step 1 of my formula is to use a time frame that Wall Street can't push around to trap my trades. Let's take a look at a real example. So funds with billions of dollars can easily move a stock that's $130 like DoorDash down $2 or $3 during the day to fill an order or just get themselves a better price. On a small time frame, that feels like a huge move. And it always shakes out a ton of investors. Some of them are taking losses. In fact, take a look at Dash the last time I traded. You can see that chart. Like, what do you see there? It's a choppy mess. It means nothing. It actually looks like it's going down, right? This is an hourly chart, and it looks like pure chaos going up and down violently. Anyone trying to make sense of this would likely lose their shirt. But once Wall Street fills an order or pushes some retail money out of the stock, we find out what the market really wants. And with just one simple adjustment, Dash became a crystal clear opportunity for me. Switching from this messy chart that I could only guess on to this crystal clear breakout opportunity, right? You can see that bullish candle with all that buying momentum there. And all I did was switch the time frame, right? It's just such an easy fix that most people don't know to do, right? That's why we're doing these trainings today. You see, Wall Street can push around stocks during the day or even for a few days, but only on a longer time frame can we determine where the stock is really going. Take a look at this candle again. Again, I highlighted it before. It's the big bullish breakout candle, right? Inside this candle, there was plenty of whipsaws back and forth. See, that's a weekly time frame. It gives you a really clear picture. But inside, just imagine zoomed up, there's big battles going on where price is moving up and down inside that candle because this is an entire week of price data, an entire week right here. Okay. In fact, I guarantee some traders who were long still lost money during this. That's the crazy thing, is there were people that were on the right side of the trade and lost money. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that? Wow. Oh, it feels so bad because they were sucked into a shorter time frame and they panicked. But as soon as you step back, you can see the clear overall momentum. That's why I made an official buy recommendation on Dash after that breakout, and I bagged 89.2% on the trade. That's the power of stepping out of the noise and into a high conviction time frame. The same thing happened to Hood on back in December, right? On a smaller time frame, there's so much to see here, a lot of noise. But just by zooming out of this frame and into a high conviction time frame, we see another clear opportunity. Very similar trade. You got the break with the huge bullish candle on a high time frame, right? And I grabbed 71.83% on this one. So I think you're starting to get how this looks and how this is working. Hopefully this is starting to make sense to you. But not only does using these high conviction timeframes create exponentially stronger setups, but it takes a tiny fraction of your time. Again, like I said in the beginning, time is the thing I needed the most. And I think you can relate to this. Time is our most valuable asset that we have. So a new candle forms every week instead of once an hour. So you get a better candle, a more accurate candle, and it takes less of your time, right? Amazing. Okay. So we can cut our analysis time down by about 95% and increase our win rate. So that's a win-win. Okay. And increase the size of our wins. So that's a win-win-win. This is just an amazing breakthrough. And that's only the first step, right? We're only on step one here. Okay. And I still got to teach you all the baseline methodology. So the second step is one that I learned from the life-changing podcasts I hosted over the last 6 years, right? I've been grinding on this thing, and that's what we got to do to be successful. You got to grind, okay? And I call it the wind up. So I want to demonstrate this with a practical example, and I want you to think of a wind up toy. You keep winding, and the pressure keeps building, okay? And when you release all that energy, it launches the toy forward. So the same concept is true in the stock market. If a stock has a strong directional sentiment, but it's stuck in a windup phase, it's building pressure for an explosive move. And that's why I never get into a trade that doesn't have a good windup. And I try to not get into a trade that is in a windup phase, okay? Because I'm only looking for explosive moves. Now, here's an example of a trade I'm in right now. You can see that it's flat right there, right? You see the side-to-side action? Now, this is the market winding up, okay? Guess what happens next? You guessed it. Wind up, there was the zoom, release, and boom, okay? And so this one trade was up 47%, and it was only able to explode like this because it was wound up and ready to launch, right? Same type of example that I mentioned with the wind up toy. It's all about building pressure, okay? But you just can't buy every stock that's trading flat because it could be a wind up that would be a recipe for disaster. It could wind up and go the other direction, right? So we got to really pay attention to what we're doing. Right. And so you see, the windup matters only if you understand the next step, which is step 3. Right. This stuff all falls together. It works in conjunction and in context of the bigger picture. We got to, it's like building a foundation. You got to start with step 1. Okay. So step 3 is what I call the surge. The surge is an indication that pressure is building. And remember, a stock going sideways doesn't matter unless there is pressure building. It's that pressure behind the wound up stock that causes it to surge upward. So we need a way to see the pressure behind the stock. And the best way to see this is with volume building on the stock. When massive amounts of volume is being gobbled up, but the stock is still stuck, you can be sure it's being ready to rocket. That's that wind up thing happening. And the pressure is beginning to mount because the volume is happening and the surge. So a lot of times you'll see it and it'll be a big spike just like that, right? And the surge always occurs during the wind up phase. And the last time I had that was a nice breakout on Celsius, CELH. It was 176% gain for $1,400. And you can see right in here, the wind up happening, right? And then boom, break. Okay. Textbook. And you can see the surge right there. Textbook baseline strategy. And it worked. 176% gain, real trade. All right. And an 80% or an 84% gain for $370 in profit on CPRT. Again, another textbook trade, great result. And another trade here, you can see we've got the wind up in the surge for 85% gain for $715 in profit. So right now, we're going to review a little bit. We've covered the first three steps: the high conviction time frame, the wind up, the surge. So write those down because we have 2 more to go, right? We're making progress on this training here. So step number 4 is what I call the confidence score. And this one might actually be the most important of all the steps. You see, I want to know whether insiders have an incredibly high degree of confidence that this stock is going up. And there's only one way to know if insiders have an extraordinary belief that a stock will go up, and that's options buying. Okay, options buying is the key here. And so I want to explain this concept to you. You see, Wall Street has millions and billions of dollars, billions and billions, millions and trillions of dollars to invest in stocks. And their normal trading is simple accumulation of shares. But using options is a much more aggressive, higher leveraged way to trade the same stocks. They don't need the leverage of options to make big moves like you and I do, but they would only take the extra risk if they were incredibly confident that a stock would go up, right? Because there's a little bit of extra risk in options and more reward. But again, if you're following the hedge funds, they don't do things unless they have a massive edge, right? So I've found this to be the single strongest indicator of directional moves in the entire stock market. So with the baseline, I don't touch a stock unless it has an extremely high confidence score, options buying. When I see that insiders and institutions are betting the farm on a stock that already meets my first 3 criteria, you can bet I'm ready to go all in too, just like them. And here's a great example of one of those trades that just recently hit. It was a 97% gain on Applied Materials for $935 profit. Just very simple. Also, 139% gain for $990 profit on APO. Same type of system, same type of strategy, just followed consistently, looking for these trades. So we also had a 28% gain for a $100 profit on TOST, toast, right? 28% gain. So you can see how these trades are just following the formula, following my baseline, and working for me with a short amount of time. Okay. So now that you know the 4 steps that tell me which stocks to buy with immense confidence, the final step tells me when to buy them and when to take my profits. And step 5 is called key levels. Okay, this is important because I need to know when the move is confirmed and where it's going. I use specific key levels to accomplish this, and it's the most accurate way to confirm breakouts and define target levels that I've ever found. If you've talked to the experts, I have, and they've combined billions in trading success, you learn pretty quickly that certain levels rule the stock market. And I've adapted this into the baseline so that I have precise entries and exits to go along with my high conviction trades. Here's another example of Amazon, right? It was a 64% gain for a $360 profit, looking for those key levels to happen, looking for all five steps of the baseline, and we had a great trade, right? Also, another really awesome trade on Coinbase, a 78% trade for $295 in profit. When the baseline triggered, I made it happen and I alerted it to my members. And by the way, I made 78%. I probably could have made 500% had I not closed it so fast. Because this thing went from about 88 on the entry all the way up to $283. So sometimes you miss profits, but you can't be upset, right? You can't say, oh man, I could have had 500%. You just got to take your profits and keep moving on and not regret anything. Don't be greedy, just be consistent. Okay. It's something you got to learn. And a 27% gain for a $130 profit on SCI. So I hope you're starting to see why baseline trades have such a high win rate and typically result in such big winners. Okay. It's because I'm stacking the odds in my favor every step of the way. I'm building a case for success, right? I'm working this thing. Now, and this is how I do it. I only use high conviction time frames. Plus, I only trade stocks that are wound up. Plus, I only trade with a pressure surge. Plus, I only trade stocks with a high confidence score. Plus, I only trade stocks that break key levels. Okay, so that's the formula. That is it right there. That's the baseline. That's why baseline trades are the best trades that I've ever made, with an average win of 52.5% per trade, including the losers. That means for every $1,000 in profit or you invest, you would expect about 520 on each trade. Okay. Or after just 10 trades, you'd be looking at $5,252 in profits. And here's the amazing part: with that same 52.5% win rate or average win, your $5,252 in profits could generate an average win of $2,758 per trade, right? Well, how does that work? Well, that's the power of compounding, okay? And we're not just talking about once in a blue moon home run trades either. We're talking about a staggering 92% win rate. Staggering. Which means starting with just $1,000 investment in each position and gradually increasing your size in 4 short months based on our real issued officially published alerts, your tiny $1,000 stake could have generated $280,564.51 in profit. So that's why when I put that number out on the beginning, I wasn't just talking and making stuff up to give you guys excitement and interest. Now you can see this is the actual compounded thing that could have happened, right? So what's the most incredible part about this whole thing? Well, that the record breaking performance would have taken about 5 minutes a week to achieve. Why is that? Well, that's because we have released these on Friday at the end of the week. Okay, so no more hours of endless research, no more stressing out about finding trades. Just imagine being able to actually spend your time enjoying life while racking up profits in your account. Now, again, I'm not saying you're going to become a millionaire overnight. That's not the idea, right? It takes consistency, and I'm going to make mistakes along the way. You're going to make mistakes along the way. We've just got to be consistent and manage our risk. That's the name of the game. But the incredible performance I'm talking about today isn't just theory or back-tested or curve-fitted results that you see so often. This is all real results from real opportunities that anyone could have followed along with, because I publish every baseline trade that I'm taking in my own personal account to a very select group of members. So inside my simple once a week service called 52 Trades, Again, as you saw today, I'm only issuing trades based on confirmed baseline setups on the weekly charts, which means that there's less time and even less trades can equal massively more profits. That doesn't mean I can guarantee every trade is a winner or that you can get rich overnight. But by limiting my trades and my time with baseline, I've seen extraordinary success. And I want to invite you to be able to tap into these very same opportunities. In fact, others just like you have already began tapping in. Okay, so here's some things that group members have said. In the first 3 days of this week, my account's up another $771, and I've not had any losses this week so far. By Sheila. Now, here's another one. I have started with $1,000 and made 780. And I'm sure I would have made more, but I stopped taking these trades in early February because I had to withdraw the profit and take care of a family issue. But I made the most on Etsy, $284, and the next highest on MTCH, which was $219. And I did well on RBLX and Bitto. Man, I probably would be at 3,000 or more if I didn't have to deal with a family emergency, but I'm excited to be back. Okay. And then here's another one that says small account, but I did gain 303% from trades and waiting on IWM. Thank you. And I believe in you. So again, even if that was a small account, if it started at $1,000, a 303% increase would have already brought that account up to $3,003. Okay. So, and thank you for believing in me. I really appreciate that. So if you're ready to tap into the full power and potential of the baseline, all you have to do is become a member of my inner circle called 52 Trades. And this is the exact service that has issued the trades behind the jaw-dropping performance that you saw today. Like this huge win on DG, Dollar General, or these back-to-back winners like you see right here, 3 wins in a row. And so here's exactly how it works. Every week, I issue a detailed baseline trade alert. And the alert includes the ticker we're trading, the direction we're trading, the exact option to buy, and the price of the option. And every alert is posted right inside the 52 Trades Telegram channel and posted in a private spreadsheet that you can follow along 24/7. As soon as you claim your membership, you'll get an immediate invite to both the Telegram channel, which is quick and easy to join, plus the 52 Trades spreadsheet that you can follow. By now, I'm sure you're wondering how much it will cost to become a member of my most powerful service. Well, if I have to be perfectly honest, I think I could put any price on this, on the 52 Trades, and it would be well worth it. Would you agree? Because so far, just a tiny starting stake could have resulted in $280,564.51 in profit. That's really could have happened, right? And so someone paying $10,000 a year would be getting an amazing value right now. But I'm never going to charge $10,000 or even $5,000 for 52 trades. In fact, I use the 1K investment as an example on purpose. 52 trades is for the regular investor. I want to give you a system where you can start small and have the potential to build meaningful wealth over time without slaving away in front of the computer for hours on end. But before I show you how sweet of a deal I've lined up for you, let me finish reviewing everything that you get as a 52 Trades member so you get complete understanding of how this whole thing works. So the first thing is you're getting my 52 Trades alerts. We call it 52 trades because it's one alert a week, 52 weeks in a year. Boom, there it is. But that's valued at $5,000 a year. Now, plus I'm going to give you direct access to the live spreadsheet where the trades are posted, okay, where they're posted. You can keep this sheet bookmarked 24/7 or simply use the Telegram trade alerts to follow whatever works for you. It's that simple. A new trade will be alerted to you each Friday before the market close, which means you don't need to frantically check Telegram or the spreadsheet all hours of the day. It will come to you like clockwork on Fridays, so you have to spend only a few minutes a week on this service. And we usually send it out about 3 p.m. I try to give you an hour before the market closes. Now, I do know some people that are busy on Fridays. Sometimes they wait until Monday to take the trade. It's not an issue, right? Because we have a lot of time to do this, right? So it works with just about anyone's schedule. My goal is to make this the easiest way to trade you've ever seen, while also generating the most profits. Now, of course, the alerts are the key component of 52 trades, but I also want to help enhance your understanding of the markets and take advantage of even more opportunities by learning the baseline method for yourself. So I've been blessed to get access to some of the best traders on earth, and that knowledge has impacted my life and my trading, and I want to pass that on to you. So every week I will provide a video training on how the baseline works and how my thought process behind my trades and what I'm doing, so you can actually see me do it, not just get an alert, but actually see me do it and what I'm thinking, right? That provides a lot of value to help your educational process. And even those videos don't take a ton of time, usually about 20 or 30 minutes I spend preparing those for you guys. All right. So over time, you'll learn everything about the most powerful strategy I've ever discovered, like how I find the trades, how I enter the trades, how I exit trades, how I manage risk, how I compound my count, and more. And I've seen people charge $997 or $1,997 or even $5,000 for training on much less effective systems. You've seen it too, I'm sure. And considering the baseline method has generated tens of thousands of dollars of extra income for me in just the last few months, well, I'd be happy to pay $5,000 to learn it. But today, 52 Trades members get all of the baseline training included at zero extra cost to their membership. Now, like I said, I'm not going to charge $10,000 or even $5,000 for this service. In fact, it's going to be much lower than that. The official price on my website is just $1,297 a year, which could be less than a $2,500 than what you could make on a single trade, right? You could actually make that on a single trade. Got it? So meaning the members have the chance to pay for an entire year of access on their very first trade. Imagine that, which would essentially make it free because you'll never have to pay for it again. Most of the other members that we've talked about have already paid for it. Yeah. But if you're on this webinar today, I'm going to give you an even better deal because I'm really trying to make this work for you. I want as many people as possible in this. I'm going to give you a link to a secure access to the extra discount in just a moment. But first, I have a massive bonus for you. I like to shake things up and make it a little fun. You've already seen the staggering potential of just one baseline trade per week. But when I do my weekly analysis, I usually find 2 to 4 trades that meet the baseline criteria. So I'm going to include a second official trade alert each and every week at no cost, which doubles your profit potential as a new member of 52 Trades. And on top of that, I'm going to be hosting occasional live Friday trade rooms so I can walk you through the new opportunities in real time, because I want every 52 Trades member to be successful. And I know that seeing it in real time is one of the best ways to help you learn and execute successfully. So here is exactly everything that you get right here with the 52 Trades system. This is the best system that I've ever seen. And so everything that you get today, and it won't cost you $10,000. It won't cost you $5,000. It won't even cost you $1,297 per year, which is what the price says on my website. You can get all of this right now for just $997 per year. $997 per year, right? And the same trades that could have propelled a tiny $1,000 account into $280,564.51 for just $997 a year. What a deal, right? But before I drop the link to join, I have one more surprise. Do you think your heart can take one more? I know I'm on the edge of my seat and I even know what the surprise is. You see, I showed you the power of compounding today, taking 1K into 280 by continue to reinvest your profits. And that's what I want for you. I want you to be able to keep your money in your account and compound it alongside me, which means that even though you'd probably be happy to pay an extra $997 each year if these trades perform like I expect them to, but I don't want you to do that, okay? I want you to keep the money in your pocket and in your account, okay? So I'm completely eliminating the annual fee for folks who join 52 Trades today and automatically applying lifetime access to your membership when you claim a spot today. So what does that mean? It means for just one payment of $997, you can get a lifetime of the most powerful trading signals I've ever discovered. So here you go. For $997, you can join now, tradingstrategyguides.com/52 to join. Let's go ahead and join now. It's just $997 per year for lifetime access. Go ahead and just click the link below. You're going to see an order form, and I'm still going to answer some questions and go through some more details here in a minute. But if you're already ready to go and you're excited, just click the link. Lifetime access. We've limited the yearly. So as soon as you lock in your membership, you're going to get complete access immediately, instantaneous access. Okay, so this image here is the thank you page. So as soon as you process, we're going to send you a welcome email, but we wanted to get access even faster. So it's right on the thank you page. There's a short video training and there's going to be some next steps. So you'll be able to access the trades instantly. Okay. So just go to tradingstrategyguides.com/52 to join now. Right. Okay. All right. And you're also, once you lock in your membership, you're going to see a welcome email as well. Casey Stubbs, 52 trades, should you not be able to access that thank you page, right? So we're covering every base. We want to make sure that you have access to this. All right. So you're also going to get a direct link to our private Telegram channel. And that means my team and I will be right there for you as soon as you join the group. Now, remember, as soon as you're in, there's no subscriptions, no renewals, and no monthly costs. Just a lifetime of confirmed baseline opportunities directly from me, like the coin trade I sent on December 1st, which generated a 78.7% gain in one day, or the CELH trade in January, which produced a 176% gain in just 6 weeks, or AMAT applied materials, which cleared 97.9% in just 3 weeks, or TSN just 10 days ago, currently up 40%. And current trades are available to jump into right now today. Okay, so again, our limited time discount of $997 plus unlimited access lifetime for $997. Jump on, click the link today, change your life, be a part of something great. You're not going to regret it. It's awesome. Not only will you be able to get great signals, but you're going to be able to get access to my insight and information. And you know what? That's why I love my podcast, is because I get insight to great people, and I want to share that with you guys as much as possible. So tradingstrategyguides.com/52. Oh, and by the way, one more thing. Okay. 52 trades performance is guaranteed, right? I don't want to be like, oh, I want to put the risk on me. I've done all the work. I've done all the training, and now I want to put the risk on me. So I have a 52 trade confidence guarantee. I use high conviction time frames, and I have a high conviction confidence guarantee. And that I wanted to make you feel that you have the peace of mind, right? So here's how it works. If you take this seriously and hold up your end of the bargain, which means that you follow the trades and don't trade like a maniac, okay, I will guarantee my end of the deal. And look, I just do want to say one thing about trading like a maniac. Um, I have been doing this for a long time, and I have had people come in and they say, it didn't work for me. And I'm like, okay, why? Well, show me your trades. And then they did. And I was like, well, you didn't follow the system, right? So I want to be able to give you a refund and help you, but you did everything exact opposite of what I said to do. So you just got to follow it, right? And I've really worked hard at making it simple so that you can follow exactly like I do. All right. Now, so yeah, take it seriously, follow the trades, and I will guarantee my end of the deal. So if you take advantage of this special 50-time lifetime deal, take the first 52 trades that we recommend. And if you're not showing a substantial profit from those trades, I will refund every penny of your investment. And at this point, I've done everything I can to make this an easy decision for you and even take all the risk off of you, and I put it on me. Okay, so it's up to you to decide whether you're going to take advantage of an opportunity or you're going to let it slip by. In order to get different results, you got to be willing to do something differently. And I know that there's some people, some of you in here that might have bought a lot of trading products before, and they didn't work for you, right? And that's why I put the 52 trades guarantee, is because I'm not only going to help you with the signals, I'm going to help you follow the trades. That's why I do a live training every once in a while, right? That's because I want to be able to say, okay, what's the problem? How can I help you, right? Because the opportunity is so huge. All right. Now, I hope you decide to take action today. I really do. And while you're filling out the form to claim your spot, let me answer a couple of common questions that many folks have about 52 trades. So, do I need a lot of money to start? No, you can start with as little as $500 and just take one trade at a time until your portfolio grows big enough to take multiple. So if you're going to do that, I will help you if maybe you don't have enough money, because some of the trades are going to be over 500 or some of them will be over 1,000. But I have some other strategies that I teach on how to get to lower your cost to get into some of these trades. Okay. And so I'll be there to help you along the way. Okay. But yeah, you could start with as little as $500 just it would be a little more difficult. It would be better if you did have 1,000 or more, but it is possible with 500. All right. Are these trades hard to follow along? No. No. Each one has specific details, including ticker, price, option contract, and everything you need to execute the trades. It should take you less than 15 minutes a week. It's so simple. Even if you've never traded an option before, it's very simple. What makes this, what markets does this work for? Well, the baseline works on stocks, ETFs, and we trade simple options on those assets, but you can use the underlying stocks as well. So you can trade this on stocks, or you can trade these signals to options. Now, here's the thing about this though, is you're going to get access to me and you're going to really pick this up. And so this strategy actually works on every single market. I'm only going to be covering stock market, but when you learn this, you're going to be able to trade anything, because this fundamental strategy will work for just about anything that you're trading. Okay. What broker can I use? Well, you can use any broker that allows you to trade stocks, options, which would include Schwab, TD Ameritrade, Tastyworks, Robinhood, E-Trade, Merrill Lynch, etc. Yeah, any of the markets will work for this. Any broker that does options trading or stocks. All right. Now, if you have any additional questions, post them in the chat now. right? So here we go. Just go tradingstrategyguides.com/52. If you're guaranteed, only if guaranteed. Oh, wait, hold on. Woo. I've been reading a lot. Lifetime access plus an instant $1,000 discount only guaranteed if you join today. All right. So let's hit the questions. All right. Looks like Ben's been handling them. We still got a bunch of questions, but I want to, before I hit any of the questions, I will hit them all. But before we do, I just wanted to say thank you for everybody that jumped in today. We got some people that have gotten in there and made it happen already. So thank you so much. We really appreciate, we really do. So now with that being said, let's go ahead and hit the chat. All right. So I'm going to go back and try to find the first one. Give me just a minute though, because I've got a lot of comments in here. And let's make sure we do this. Okay, hold on, guys. Just looking for these trades. Or not trades, comments. Okay. All right. First question is, do I provide a trade alert? Yes. Yes, we do. We do provide a trade alert. And so, yes, we do. It's in Telegram and in the spreadsheet. So yes, awesome. Excellent. Okay. Next question. Are the trades documented? Yes, they're all documented. You will have access to our spreadsheet. You can see every single trade, the entry day, the entry exit, the exit day, the price of the entry, the price of the exit. Everything has been documented. Okay, now here we go. Good questions. What is the risk allocation per trade? Okay, so Amit, that has to do with your specific risk tolerance and the way that you analyze your trades. But the way that I do it is I usually will put a certain amount on. So let's just assume $1,000. And that is my primary risk. It's like, okay, I'm going to risk $1,000 on this trade. And then if it closes below my support zone, then I will close the trade. Okay, so I will close the trade and I'll take a loss. Right now, our losses are averaging pretty small. I would say our averages, if we're risking $1,000 per trade, we're averaging about a $200 loss. So we're not actually losing the full 1,000. So I usually lose much less than what I actually initially put in. Plus, our win rate is extremely high right now. We're at 92%. Okay. And by the way, there's a lot of questions coming in, but I will be here to help. Well, what if you've never traded options before? So 2 questions. Number 1, that's okay because I tell you exactly when to get in and when to get out, right? So there's no issues there at all. Super easy to follow. I tell you when to get out, when to get in, and how to trade, okay? So super easy. All right, now, if you have also another point though, is if you haven't traded options and you don't want to, that's okay because you can take these as stock trades, right? They work really well also. All right. Now, does your video training teach you how to trade options? So Rolf, I mean, that's kind of a great question. I teach you how to trade options the way that I trade. There's literally 8 billion ways to trade options. So I don't cover every single way to trade options. I'd be literally teaching you every day of my life. But I teach you how to trade the system that I'm trading and the success that I'm getting there. Okay. So are we notified when to exit trades? Yes. Yes, we are. And thank you for your patience. There's a lot of trades coming through, or a lot of questions coming through. We're going to handle each one of them. But again, I want to thank everybody that has been signing up. We're getting a really good feedback here. A lot of people coming in. So thank you for that. We got Ya and Lucy and Rolf and Jim and Todd and Rob. Thank you all for joining. We really appreciate it. You're going to love this. Okay. So, how long are you typically in each trade? So, because we're using weekly charts, I'm typically in about 3 to 4 weeks per trade. Some of them are longer, right? Because I like to allow them to run, because you'll see a chart will go up like 10 weeks in a row. And if that's happening, I want to keep letting the profit move. One way that I do this is sometimes I'll take 2 options and I'll close the first one when it gets to 50%. I'll move my entry to break even and I'll let it ride. That's one way that I typically can do that. And I'll teach you guys how to do that as well. So, yes. Okay. Okay. Keep answering questions. Okay. He said this looks really good. Yeah. And so if you don't trade options, that's okay. You can definitely use this for stocks. All right. So which broker do I use and do I recommend for US citizens? Well, I actually have several broker accounts. I have Tastyworks, I have Robinhood, and I have Webull, right? So I have 3 brokers that I use for this trading. Okay. Good. Thank you for joining. Really appreciate it. Excellent. All right. Okay. What if you're new to trading is what LB says. Well, this is really, in my opinion, one of the best ways to get started, because you're getting the solid foundation, right? Because I'm showing, so you don't have to make all of the mistakes that you'll probably make on your own, the mistakes that I made. You're going to be getting access to someone who really knows what they're doing, that has been doing this for a long time. I've been doing this for about 30 years. And so you're going to get access to me, to my system, to my trades. And so if you're new, I would say it's even better to do this than if you're not new, right? If you've been around a while and you've been struggling, you want to do this. But if you're new, it's great to start out on the right foot and to start out with someone who really knows what they're doing. Does this involve advanced options? No, we're not really super advanced here. We're just straightforward and simple. And again, if you trade the option, that's how I do it. I mean, it's super easy. It's options can be a little bit of complicated, but I'm going to make it easy, right? That's one of the things that I'm good at, is taking the complex things and making the complex easy. So, yeah, with that being said, I'm not going to be doing the advanced options. No. Okay. Our alerts, entry, and alerts include entries and exits by you for lifetime is how many years? So lifetime is approximately 2 years, and then we charge you again. No, just kidding. That's a joke. Hello, I'm allowed to make a joke every once in a while. No, lifetime means specifically lifetime is the life of the service. Okay. So I plan on doing this service forever. And when I'm done, I'm going to train someone to take over. I don't want to ever stop doing this. Okay. Even if I retire or whatever, which is not for a while because I'm only a young 47. I don't plan on retiring. And so I want to keep these going. But yeah, if I stop doing the alerts, I will train someone else to do them. And by the way, my track record for training people is really good. And usually, actually not usually, I have a 100% track record. When I train someone, they always end up better than me. So if I train someone to take this over and you're still going to get the signals, they're going to end up being better than me because they always are. Always. The people I train are always smarter and better than me. I don't know why. Maybe because they take what I teach them and then they take it to the next level. Okay, so what's the winning percentage? Well, right now our winning percentage is 92%. How much is recommended to start? Well, I really would recommend that we go with, whatever is good for you. I personally like to do about $1,000 a trade, and it depends on the option, right? Because I try to find an option that is around 1,000, but some of them might be a little bit more. But if you can afford $1,000 per trade, then that's a great place to start, and you just slowly increase your size as you build your confidence in the system. How do I manage the trade once I enter it? Well, the way that I manage the trade is I keep an eye on my key levels, right? So key levels is one of the key areas in the strategy. And so it also is one of the key areas of managing the trade. So if a key level drops, I will close the trade for a loss. As it's moving in the upside, I will lock in profit and I will take profit as I see the trade moving up, right? Okay, so in step 5, I mentioned key levels. Can I provide more on that and details? Well, there's a lot of training out there about levels, and I'll go over it real briefly here. In the market, you have things called support and resistance, and those are what I'm really talking about with levels. But I'm also looking at moving averages, right? I'm looking at the 50, I'm looking at the 200. And so I'm looking for price to be making moves above those averages. It's not always that way, but I'm looking for it to move into that direction. And I'm looking for key resistance levels getting taken out, right? And so if you don't know how support and resistance works, you could do some research on it. I will be teaching that as we get into the 52 trades. What happens on a short week like this week with the markets closed on Friday? Well, if the markets are closed on Friday, I will be delivering my signal on Thursday. I'll be delivering my signal on Thursday because Friday the market is closed and it's opening again on Monday. So my signal will go out this Thursday. All right. If we are long options, how long do we hold? Should we be concerned with theta decay? Joe, you're a real pro, man. That's a great question. So the answer to that is I handle the theta decay by buying a specific type of option that doesn't give me that problem, right? So I like to look for an option that's about 6 months out. And so if I'm going to be holding for a month or 2 months, I got plenty of time and I don't have to worry about it. The way that I buy it actually gives me a lot of opportunity to make really good profit. And actually I use the theta to my advantage with the type of option that I buy. Okay, so we already got this question, but I'll hit it again. What broker do I use? Any broker that allows you to trade a stock or an option. So any broker. Darren says, how far out? Well, usually 6 months. BK says, BK said, I'm just looking for hold on. BK, I just joined and I'm looking forward to a great experience. Thank you, BK. I am so excited to have you. LB says, I'm joined but fearful. Well, LB, I don't know why you're afraid. What are you afraid of? If you're new to trade, were you the one that asked about being new to trading? You know what, JB, while you're here, help me out. Help me help you. Why are you fearful? I want to see if I can help you. Because one of the things that you got to work on is your fear. even if I give you good signals, if you're fearful, it can cause you to do something crazy. So we want to work on that. Don't be fearful. How can I help you eliminate that? Do you generally get into option trades at the market or limit orders? And are your options generally a month out or more? Okay, so I usually use limit orders. Good question. To try to get a little bit better price. That's why we use limit orders. Sometimes I don't get filled when you do that, but that's okay. You just got to be patient and realize sometimes you miss one. Are my options a month out or more? Yes. Yes, they are. They're usually 6 months out. Okay. Good questions, man. You guys are crushing it. All right. So what percent of your profits come from stocks versus options? Well, I have been trading 100% options. But again, an option is an option on a stock. So you can trade it either way. You can trade it as a stock or you can trade it as an option. I just choose to trade it as an option. So 100% of my profits have come from options. Yes. Okay. What level trader do you have to be approved for to place these trades? I believe that it's the basic level, but I don't really know how to. I don't really know much about the levels. I don't know what level I am. I'm probably a level 97,000. But honestly, I don't know. Dave, it's a really good question. Yeah, I haven't. I know that when you open an account, they want to see what level you are. I can't remember how that whole process worked. I didn't even know what I was doing when I filled it out, but I think the basic level should work. If you have trouble with it, just let me know and we'll work to make it happen. Good questions, guys. Good questions. All right. Okay. So right now I've been answering questions. We've got a lot of good ones coming in. So now I wanted to see if LB was still there. They could ask me about why they're afraid. And then for anyone else, because we still have a lot of people in here, and we've had really good results here as far as people jumping in. Really glad that we're getting such good results. And what I mean by results is by getting people in to work with. I'm just so excited to have so many new people to be helping and to be working with. That's so cool. But my question now is, what do you need to know to get you to take action today? What can I do to help you make a good decision here? Because I want to help you make a good decision. What can I do to help you do that? What can I do to help you make an awesome decision to become a trader that is using our 52 trade system? So if you're on the fence and you're thinking about it, what do I, just let me know what is stopping you. What's your big objection here? Let me know, and I will help you answer any questions that you may have. Please let me know in the chat. Okay, so we got another question. Good. So a short term, say a month or two, no question, satisfaction, guaranteed refund. So we do have a refund, but it is not no questions asked. And the reason why is because we want you have to follow the system, right? I'm not going to let someone just jump in and then not take the trades. Okay. It is really important because if you're going to sign up, I want you to use the system. If you just want to buy it and then get a refund and not use it, well, that's a different story, but I want you to use it. So, yeah, you have to use it. It's a 100% guaranteed if you use the system. But why would you buy it if you're not planning on using it? You get what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. if you're if, so when I asked the question, I was like, okay, do you want, what's holding you back? If you're saying, well, I want a refund, but I don't want to use the system because I want to know questions asked, that doesn't make any sense to me. If you buy it, I want you to use it. Okay. 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 So now we got some clarification. Excellent. So Amit says, but reality is often different from what's advertised. You've been burnt so many times. Well, that is a different story. Okay. So that's again the reason why I want you to use the system, because I know without a doubt that if you follow it, you will be successful. I know this. Okay. I look, we put disclaimers out there, and those disclaimers are real. Trading, it has risk, but I know that if you follow it, you will have success. And if you don't, I will give you a refund. That is the guarantee. Okay. All right. So we got some good. So Emmett, that was awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. I appreciate your honesty. That was good. All right. Okay, let's do this. So Jim says, my fear is that if I spend $997 for the program and then lose more on the actual trades, that's really good. That's really good. Okay, so Jim said his fear is that if he spends $997 for the program and then lose more on the actual trade, it's happened to you before with other programs, but you think you're going to jump in. Okay, so that's really good. Again, so I really appreciate the honesty here and the transparency, and I want to be transparent too. That's why I share my track record. That's why I'm open. That's why I share everything. But that's a really good point. Okay, because yes, so the 997, we could really count that as part of the risk, right? So if you have $1,000 in trading capital and you spend $1,000 on the program, that's a $2,000 of your trading, right? That's the total, which I really recommend that when you're doing your accounting and you're looking at your trades, I recommend that you actually include the cost of the system. A lot of people forget to do that. But that's a really good point, Jim. And so to answer that, I would say, give yourself a hard risk level. Okay. Because if I have never lost $1,000 on a trade, never, on this system. I have lost $1,000 on a trade, but never on this system. So you want to give yourself a hard risk level. And, if you ever have any questions, just ask me about what you should be risking. But you want to make sure that you're not if you're really concerned about losing more than 1,000, maybe say, okay, I spent 1,000 and I'm going to risk 1,000. That's a really good level to start with. And that way you're never going to lose more than what you paid. But you also want to look at it on the other side is like, okay, I made 1,000 on this first trade, or I made 500 and then made 500 and I covered the cost of the system. And so now I'm at break even and I can I got the price of the system back. So that's really good. Okay. All right. So we got a bunch more questions coming through. So great. It's very good. So one person says, are there guides to set up buy signals and sell signals? So I came in, so you had a situation where you came in and sold at the lower price and you didn't get out. And so that's what cost you, and you didn't have a good day. Well, you know what? That's why we set up our system so easy and simple. Alan made that comment. That's a really good comment, but that's the reason why we made our system as simple as we have, because we, we want to make sure that you're not going to get in at a bad price. You're not going to get out at a bad price because we tell you when to get in and out. Now, I will say that sometimes the students will get out before me, and that's totally fine. Like let's say that you're in, I like to hold for a long time. So I will always tell people when I'm doing a signal, like I just did it today on a signal. Actually, I said, look, we're up. I like this trade. I'm going to hold it. But if you want to take profit, go ahead. Because, it's always good, or, take partial profit or something. There's no issue with that. But yeah, that makes a lot of sense, Alan. That's a really good comment. And that's why we've created our system really simple to use. Yeah. And Alan says, you've been looking at all kinds of platform and everyone says that this is the best one. That's so true. I would love for you to join up so you can actually tell others about us. Tell other people about how the system is. So, yeah, great. Good stuff. Okay. So now, let's keep going here. Keep going the questions. So again, I wanted to reach out to LB one time. I would love for you to tell me what you're afraid of. And I right here on the call while you were together, tell me how I can help you. I am here to help you, and I want to help you overcome your fear, and I want you to be successful. Again, remember the reason why you signed up. What are you trying to accomplish? If we have a financial problem, that's one of my missions, is to help people overcome their financial problems, and getting on a system like this will help you with your financial issues. So tell me what I can do to help you with your fear. All right. So now keep going. Thank you. Again, if you're still thinking about signing up, just let me know with the question. I'll hit it. Other than that, we're going to keep going through. I see a bunch of questions coming through. Okay. So Optimal Solutions is saying, how hard is it to reach me, to get help? Well, it's actually not very hard at all. As a matter of fact, and I don't do this all the time, but I want to have access to people. I just recently had coffee with one of my customers. We happen to live in the same area. And so I'm like, okay, let's get together, because I want to find out what I can do to help. And you do that by sitting across the table and talking to someone, right? And that's really not, obviously I don't do that for everyone, but I'm just saying I'm available for everyone. So it's very easy to get a hold of me. You can contact me via email. It does sometimes take me a while because at certain times we get really busy, but I always get back to everyone. So I do ask for a little bit of patience when handling some questions. But yeah, I'm very accessible. I'm always very accessible. All right. So with that being said, I still got some more questions. Okay. Will this month be available next month when I'm able to join? You know what, Josh? We would recommend that maybe you send us an email and remind us to lock in the price for you, so that when you need to join later, we can make sure we save that spot for you. But yes, if you reach out to us, I'll actually message you the email right now if I can figure out how to do that. John. Yes, I figured out how. Okay, good. Um, all right, let's keep going. All right. Edmund, yes, Edmund, send us an email. I'll send you an email here. Let me know. Edmund, just send us an email, Edmund. I sent it out. All right, good. Okay. A great question for Optimal Solutions. Is the take profit given with the initial alert? Actually, I do not use take profits. Okay. And I have a very specific reason for this. The reason I don't add a take profit is because I want to give the market time to run. Right. I did not talk about my best trade that I ever made. Okay. I did not do that. But let me talk about it right now. My best trade that I ever made was a 6,000% ROI. I invested roughly $100 and I made $6,000 on the trade. And the reason I was able to do that is because I did not have a take profit. Had I put a take profit on that trade, I probably would have got out for several $100 profit. That would have been okay. I would not have complained, but getting a 6,000% return is pretty awesome. And so I do like to give myself the opportunity to hit home runs. And I did not talk about the home runs in here because I didn't want to like just get you on the wrong mindset, but it is definitely possible to catch some big ones. And that's why we don't use take profits. We try to let the market do its thing. And if it changes direction or I see something I don't like, I will close it and send out the alert to close. But yes, you can use a trailing stop if you want as well. And I do that, right? So here's a great example. I just did this. Dave is asked me about the trailing stop. So Dave, if I might use multiple contracts, right? So I'll buy 2 contracts. It's up 50%. Okay, close the first one, move the next one to break even, and then as the market moves, trail it and continue to trail as it moves in the direction. The only issue with trailing stops is they do have a tendency to whip you out. The last time I used one, which was a couple of weeks ago, I got whipped out and it kept going back up. And so that is kind of an issue as well. All right. So, yeah, that's great. Good questions. So let's go ahead. I'm going to actually send an email here or a message to Robert. And then I still see some people joining here, which is just fantastic. Love to see the people keep coming in. We just got somebody sign up right now. So that's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. But again, if you're still interested and you have more questions, I'm here and I'm just going to stick around as long as there's people here and that they keep asking questions. We're gonna do that. With that being said, though, if I don't get any more questions and there's nobody, everybody's like, okay, I'm not interested, I'll close it up. because let's see how many people we actually have here. We've still got 78 people. Just want to thank everybody that signed up. We got Jerry that just came in, BT, Denny. So thank you guys for coming in. Really appreciate it. That's awesome. Good job. Okay. Yeah. So again, I got actually a couple more questions that popped up. Let's see where we're at here. Does Robinhood have access to the assets? Yes. Yes, it does. And Robert said, thank you. Looking forward to joining you on this journey. Robert, you're welcome. I'm looking forward to working with you, right? And I'm looking forward to assisting you on accomplishing great things in your life. And I know that you can do it. And it's going to be awesome to see you do it. You know, I think that's probably the thing I like the most is seeing people make transformation. And that's what we're looking at doing. So Optimal Solutions says, does Robinhood allow access? Yes. Robinhood will work with all of these. Robinhood will work. Yes, absolutely. Okay. Okay, so I actually did get a couple questions here. Let's see. Oh, here's one from Edmund that said, I live in Canada. What broker can I use to trade the stocks and the options? So I don't know all of the Canadian brokers, but I know a lot of Canadians that trade. So I'm sure that you have a lot of options. And I don't know, but I think Robinhood might be accessible in Canada. I don't know yet. Okay, yes. Options solutions, yes. Okay. What broker is best for people outside of the US? I'm in South Africa. So one of the things I believe, you know, if we're talking about global brokers, Josh, I would look at Interactive Brokers, right? I think Interactive Brokers is available outside of the US. I don't know for sure. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. Let's see here. Is Interactive Brokers available in South Africa? Yes, yes, it is. It is available in South Africa, right? Okay, so Dave said that IB is available. Interactive Broker is available in Canada as well. So Dave, that would be a good option. It's available in Canada. Yes, and also in South Africa. Good. Good. Okay. Thank you, Alan. Alan helped out with that. Alan was saying, is this different than prop trading? Okay. So Alan, so the thing about prop trading is that prop trading is mainly right now on futures and Forex, which is a little bit different than this. Okay. So the prop trading is a different style of trading. And so it's a little bit different. All right. Now, this would be used inside of, like we said, a Robinhood account or an Interactive Brokers or something like that. Whereas the prop trading, you get a different platform and it's options, or it's not options, it's Forex and futures, depending on your prop firm. And right. Yes. Okay. So someone says, what broker will we be using? You know what, Yemi, if you're just getting started out, I would say Robinhood is really simple to set up, or Webull. Webull's really good. Okay. All right. So, thank you. I think we're going to close it up. I'll make this the last call because we're starting to dwindle here. We still have 70 people. And so I'm still available if there's anyone that really wants to sign up and they have a specific question. I'm glad it looks like we covered everything. I feel like I've covered it all, but I want to know, the link is in the chat. Go ahead and just sign up right now if you're on the fence. Just go ahead and do it. We got the refund guarantee. We've got the 52 trades. We've got the bonus trades. We've got the live training. We got all of that, which is available, so just, I recommend that you just jump in, click the link right now. But yeah, give it a shot, guys. Give it a shot. So Alan, sometimes we can do a switch. However, in this case, it's a little bit different because that's a broker account. So we're not able to do it in this circumstance. All right. So Jim is saying, just do it. You know what, Jim? I think you should do it. Honestly, I really believe that it's I think it's a great opportunity. And, you got the refund guarantee. And so, yeah, if you take the trades and they do not work, we will give you a refund, right? We want, and I'm always there to help and to do all of that. This isn't like some kind of back-tested system or theoretical results. Obviously, I cannot legally guarantee future results because the market could go crazy. But I've been doing this for 30 years. Okay. So yes, Jim, I would just do it. And I have no hesitance in that, as long as you're mentally able, if you're mentally able to do it, then you can do it. Well, thank you. Great. Awesome. Yes, I'm available. My availability is for you. I will be available. So, yeah. We got some really good responses, some really good. I really appreciate everybody. Thank you all for sticking with me and giving me great questions. I really enjoyed presenting. I like sharing some of the things that I learned, and I hope that there was a lot of value in the presentation itself. I wanted to put it in a way where I gave you the opportunity to join with the service and to be a part of of what we're doing here. But at the same time, if you decided that you did not want to join, that I wanted to make sure there was enough value in the system as well, right? And so I I really appreciate everyone. And I hope that we added a lot of value. I hope that I and my team was able to add value to you today just with the training. And I hope to continue to add value for people that signed up in the future as I'm teaching and training and helping you make some great financial decisions. And so, yes, I'm here to help along the way. And, congratulations to everyone that signed up. Thank you all for signing up that did. Thank you for your great questions. Josh just said he has to go. This is a great opportunity. Thank you, Josh. And I have to go as well. Thank you. And we just got some more coming through. So thank you for who just came through. Really appreciate that. Dave, you came through. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate you and appreciate your sign up. Thank you so much. Okay. And yes, and Jim, if you join up and like you've been thinking about, Jim, we really would appreciate that as well. Thank you. I'm here to help. And one thing I did mention, Jim, when you said, should I just do it? Yes, I think you should just do it. But I forgot one thing, and I want to, if you haven't signed up yet, if you're in a financial place where it's not a good idea, then don't do it. Okay. I forgot to say that. If you're in a really bad financial situation, it could help you, but it could also make it worse because you're not going to be able to withdraw right away, right? You have to be I would recommend that you're able to, if you're in debt or you're in a bad financial place, begin to make some good financial decisions and save up a little bit for this. Because as time goes on, it's always better to plan ahead with your finances. Because if you're a great trader and you have poor financial management, you're still going to have poor financial management when this is done. And that will help, but it could make it's kind of like the athlete that makes a lot of money that digs himself into a big hole because he doesn't know how to manage money. You definitely need to manage your finances and have discipline and to do the right thing financially, right? That's very important to do so. Yes. Good, Jim. All right. And yeah, so with that being said, everybody, thank you all for joining. And, if you have any questions or feedback, just let us know. We're here to help. And I have truly been privileged to be able to present to you today. I know that there's a million things you could have done with your time this afternoon, and you chose to spend it with me. And that means a lot to me. And I thank you for choosing to spend your time with me this afternoon. You didn't have to do that. And so for that, I thank you. And I wish you all a great day. We will see you on the next training and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.